Hello viewers. Today we have with us Nikki Gargi, a branding and marketing professional and a native of Odisha, as she says, a citizen of world. So Nikki will be sharing her life story with us today, which she wants to do for a larger cause, that of the menace of tobacco that is affecting a large population, not just in our country but across the world, right? So, as per Nikki was actually a
Right.
smoker earlier, and fortunately, she threw that habit of hers. But there still are scores of people who are into it. Now, the Global Youth Tobacco Survey 2019 has thrown some really worrisome figures before us. It says that 47% of people who smoke or consume tobacco begin doing that before they turn 10. That's quite shocking. And it also says that 29.5% of people, they are victim of passive smoking. Like they don't smoke, they don't consume tobacco, but then they inadvertently consume it when they are in public spaces or in their offices, or sometimes even at homes where elders are smoking. This also shows that the government ban on public smoking has had little impact. Now, we wouldn't be so worried if tobacco was not such a menace, I would say that again. If it wasn't causing so many kinds of health issues. It's not just a simple cough that you get when you consume tobacco. Tobacco can cause lung diseases, it can cause heart diseases, it can lead to stroke and even cancer. So, viewers, as you listen to what Nikki has to say, I hope you will pay attention to her and keep away from tobacco. And in case you already are into it, take steps to get away from it. Welcome, Nikki. We are happy to have
Thank you
you.
for having me.
Yeah,
Thank
we are
you
happy
again
to
for
have
having
you.
me.
And yeah, and we are
Such
quite
a
happy.
nice platform to be.
We are
Yeah.
more happy that you are,
So
because normally people don't share their lives.
yeah,
Huh?
because I believe everyone is struggling, but I
Yeah.
think because of the taboo associated with it, people are not willing to come out and speak about it. But
Hmm.
since I have seen addiction at such a close, distance
Hmm.
in my
Hmm.
own life, how it took over certain parts of my life. And
Hmm.
since after I was able to get out of it, like I would really like to share my
Yeah.
struggle so that people don't enter it itself. Like
Yeah.
they say
Ah,
prevention is better than cure,
better than you. No
and
doubt.
that's why I'm very happy to share my story here today.
Thank you once again. And so we'll begin in the beginning. Tell me a little about yourself. Like,
Yeah. So
we'll begin.
yeah. So I was a very sporty child growing up. I used to play tennis a lot, and
Hmm.
I've also
Hmm.
represented India in the Asian level. And
Hmm.
being an athlete, uh, you have such strict regimes, you have strict schedules, and also as a school going kid and a full time tennis player, my
Hmm.
schedule was very tight. So I was very disciplined. And when you enter your teenage years, you want to have fun, you want to experiment a bit. So from that complete disciplined life, since I was so tired of it, so I started experimenting, uh, started hanging out with the wrong crowd, I can say that. And smoking was a very cool activity in that group.
Okay.
So we used to meet every day. We call it khatti in Odia, but it's a term that's used generic in a generic sense when people hang out in the evening to chit chat, catch up, to
Okay.
gossip. So we have this word called khatti in Odia. Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
in our
that's how you
evening
started.
khattis, we used to have some chai. Yes, just because it was a cool thing, my friends were doing it, and one day, I hung out with them. Was offered a cigarette many times, and I would say, no, it's fine, because I had that sportsman mentality. So I was trying to stay away. But you become friends, and one day your guards are down and you just take the cigarette and you're like, okay, this is not bad. It's very cool. I can see smoke and you're having fun the first few cigarettes and then it's happening every day. And then before you know it, it takes over your entire day. So now you're thinking, अरे सुबह सुबह उठ के एक सुट्टा, then toilet जाने से पहले एक सुट्टा मार लेते नहीं तो नहीं होगा. So something like that, and then it kind of makes its way into your life, and it now your family and your friends, they can smell it off of you. You know that they are repulsed by it, but you're not able to control it because after a while it becomes a addiction, like very physical addiction. Like if you try to quit, your jaw starts hurting and you feel irritated. So people somehow don't want to cross that threshold. थोड़ा सा struggle है quit करने के time में, but once you're above that threshold, it's फिर आपको एक बार smell भी आ जाएगा, you'll feel repulsed by it. But I think what really shifted was एक दिन वो मैंने ad देखा था tobacco का, how this lady, her whole mouth was infected because of cancer and it had to be stitched, so her whole mouth was stitched. When I saw that, something happened inside me, and I tried very hard, actively, क्योंकि अकेले मेरे से नहीं हो पा रहा था quit. And so I asked my friends कि यार I'm trying to quit, can you help me? तो next time आप मुझे मत देना, मतलब don't ask me when I'm with you. So this is how you inform people around you. You ask them to help you, to support you. अब you're already into it, मतलब you're addicted. So now you have to, and coming out of any addiction is very tough, physically, mentally, it's draining. So better to not get addicted. I would like really through this platform tell my friends and my youngsters and my, like my brothers and sisters कि ठीक है, कूलनेस एक बात है. दिस जनरेशन वेपिंग भी एडिक्टिव है, सिगरेट्स भी एडिक्टिव है. सो एनीथिंग दैट इज एडिक्टिव, इवन योर फोन्स आर एडिक्टिव. सो स्टॉप योर लाइक गिविंग दैट डोपामीन हिट, वो जो चीप डोपामीन बोल सकते हैं कि एक सुट्टा मार लिया, थोड़ा डोपामीन हिट हो गया, हम खुश हो गए. Instead of chasing small happiness like this, try to challenge yourself. Maybe try to run a marathon, or challenge yourself. Try to learn a new language. So with these things also you can get the same dopamine. So I'm just trying to say कि replace it with healthy
So
alternatives.
we'll go back to
क्योंकि
your
it's not good for your health. It's not good for your team.
we'll go back to the time when you had your first cigarette. How old were you? How old were you at that time?
I think I was 18, just after my 12th standard. तो
Okay.
बोर्ड सब खत्म हो गया था, एंट्रेंस एग्जाम खत्म हो गया था, and you have nothing to do, so you're hanging out with your friends in the evening. So
So is
that
it
became a bit of a everyday for 1 or 2 days.
okay? So is it a peer pressure sort of a thing? Did you feel that pressure that everybody is having, so I should have, or
It
people
was,
are forcing
I
you,
would say,
or it happened
because for
voluntarily?
many days, what happened, I would be in that. Yeah, I would say it was a mix because for many days I did hang out with them but never smoke. But the smoke got in my hair. तो जब मैं घर आती थी, मम्मी बोलती थी तुम सिगरेट पीती हो ना, like why is your hair smelling of cigarette? But तब I never used to smoke. But then slowly I'm like, मतलब ठीक है, everyone is doing it. It can't be that bad. Like you at a young age you don't think about your health itna. As you age, things start
Then,
showing up and then you become more health conscious. I think we all are a bit impulsive and carefree when we are young,
yeah.
but I'm glad that this generation is very different. People are very health conscious, and you know the ones that are stuck in addiction, this is my message to them. It's going to be a little uncomfortable to get out of it, but once you're out, your body, every cell in your body is going to thank you.
So, like you got addicted to, like you said, your mother used to ask you that are you smoking and all that. So, were there any skirmishes at home with her or with other family members? Is there a smoker in your house?
Yeah, I used to tell them that I hang out with all boys who smoke, तो वो smoke ऐसे लग जाता है बाल में तो smell होता है. And I think they bought it for the longest time. But
अच्छा.
after that, your mom also knows. Mom
हम्म.
भी also मम्मियों को पता होता है कि आप जब ड्रिंक
हम्म.
करते हो तो
हम्म. Maybe the signs
इसलिए
also manifest at that time, no? Like you talked about the coloring of the teeth and all. Maybe the voice
yeah,
also
your lips
changes.
start becoming very dark. Your
हाँ.
under
हाँ. So
I
how
don't know
long
about
were
the
you?
voice, but yes, you
हाँ.
have smoker's lip.
Hmm. Okay. So how long were you into smoking? How
So
many
you have
years?
smoker's lips, and your nails become yellow. Yeah, your teeth
Okay.
also become yellow because of the tar, and
Hmm.
your under eyes start becoming dull. So at a young age, your mom is able to tell. I think my mom knew,
New.
and
You
then
had
I,
any
I
time?
told her that I'm trying to quit क्योंकि मैंने really try किया था.
अच्छा.
Uh, I did quit like beach में for 3 years. Then
Hmm.
फिर से it started. So the struggle was constant. ऐसे एक बार में नहीं होगा.
अच्छा. So how
I
long
still in
were?
fact struggle. Sometimes I see people smoking. मेरे को भी मन करता है कभी कभी.
Okay. How long were you smoking? How many years into?
But you have to get over it. It's constant.
Yeah. How many years were you into
I will
smoking?
say maybe for 4 5 years after
You.
college. Yeah,
And
for 4 5 years maybe like after college.
huh.
College.
So were there any health issues also that you developed because of smoking? Did you get?
Yes, used to be a tennis player. I used to
Hmm.
be a tennis player, and it hampered my stamina. It
Hmm.
hampered a lot. My endurance was very bad. So then I started losing matches, and then I
Hmm.
lost interest in sports because then it becomes a lifestyle because you don't just stop at cigarettes.
Hmm.
Cigarettes, then you go to parties, then you try alcohol, then
Hmm.
it becomes a lifestyle. So that's why I'm telling people that don't enter this. There are
Hmm.
so many other ways to live your life beautifully.
Hmm. Hmm.
हम लोग ये
So
छोटा सा एक रश जो बोलते हैं adrenaline, yeah. Just to
so
chase this, we get in and then you're not able to. It's a one-way road.
get out of, yeah, one way road. So you must have had a
Yeah.
coach. Did your coach not interfere into, like, when you were losing matches and losing interest in the game?
At the time,
Hmm.
yeah, I mean that's it. People did notice it because I started looking like very dull and as if my face was shrunken like this. So they could notice, and I could feel that I was losing respect of my peers in the sports circle, and
Hmm.
that's why I distanced myself. So then I kind of tennis भी छूट
That's,
गया, फिर college भी start हुआ. So since I
hmm.
took up engineering practicals and all, so now you can't play
Hmm.
tournaments also.
Hmm.
तो ऐसे ऐसे करके धीरे छूट गया. I
कॉलेज में
understood
भी
that it all went back to that first cigarette. If I had not, yeah,
taken that first.
अगर मैं उस दिन ना ली होती उससे तो yeah, it could have been very different for me. I
So in your
always
college,
think about that first smoke.
did your college mates also were people who were smoking and all? Because engineering colleges में normally ये काफी common
Yeah,
माना
so
जाता है. हाँ.
like many a times the boys usually are very open about it, but not many girls were doing it openly.
Okay.
So then the first second year के बाद थोड़ा even some girls also
Hmm.
started smoking
Hmm.
at the
Hmm.
back side of the college.
Hmm.
So एक
Hmm.
back gate ऐसे होता था. But then
Hmm.
it started becoming cool for some reason. Like in that age, I think it's very acceptable, which is what we have to change. Like this mentality of it's smoking is so cool, hanging out is so cool. This needs to change. It needs to be more of self development कि तुम आपने क्या achieve किया, आपने क्या नया सीखा है. These things should be driving us.
True.
Sorry.
True. So आपने
At
किस
that age,
at, yeah, how old were you when you decided finally that this is like enough? I've had it enough. Now I'm going, not going to smoke.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, actually, I was preparing for this exam. So it was a government exam and it required you to be like very serious. And so in that, when I could see a purpose greater than me, जब मैंने देखा कि मुझे किसी और का सेवा करना है, like as a government servant, I saw a greater purpose than me. So then मेरे खुद की ये needs ना थोड़ा मुझे छोटा लगने लगा. So
Okay.
then that's when I kind of quit. This is the time that I quit, like 3 years.
Hmm.
I didn't smoke, or so it was very tough initially क्योंकि चिड़चिड़ लगता है, नींद आता है. Then you
Hmm.
just start thinking कि बस एक सुट्टा मार लेते तो बढ़िया लगता, but
Hmm.
वो भी नहीं हो पा रहा. So this is the time that I kind of struggled, and I was able to quit it for 3 or 4 years at that time. Then
Huh.
उसके बाद फिर से when I stopped preparing for this exam, again
Hmm.
I started hanging out with the wrong people. Then again I got into it. So again now I have tried to come out. So I try cycling and all these things
So,
whenever
though,
I'm
for those
feeling
three
the urge.
years, it was all your own self discipline that you worked on, or did you
Yeah, it was
approach
a self. Yeah, it was.
self
No,
discipline?
I tried to do it on my own. It was not
Hmm.
at all easy. Yeah.
Hmm.
I just had to do it because if you smoke cigarettes or if you use the phone, social media, and these kind of things, they reduce your attention span. And for
Hmm.
this exam, I had to focus. So, I mean, I think we are all very rational people and we can do the right thing only if we choose it. But a
Hmm.
lot of times we don't.
We
We
choose easy
continue कि
things.
जैसे चल रहा है चलने दो, देखते हैं जो होगा देखते हैं करके.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's
So,
up to
then
you.
you
It's totally
went
possible.
back to smoking again for how many months, I should say, you
Then
were into
again, I
smoking?
think I was going through a low phase in my life. So
Hmm.
then I tended to smoking, and these are actually coping mechanisms. If
Hmm.
I had known about seeking counseling and these things at a young age, then I would not have depended on these
Hmm.
substances to cope, because as a teenager you go through so much stress and everything is changing, you're getting to know the world. So I think
Hmm.
counseling could have helped me. So this is when in the lockdown I chose to start taking counseling or therapy
Okay.
or talk to a professional, and
Hmm.
she helped me like quit. So
Hmm.
under her assistance I was able to totally come out of this.
But you grew up in Bangalore. I cannot. Somehow, it's like Bangalore is a huge, big city and it's a cosmopolitan city. So you don't have counselors there, or you didn't know that you can approach them. Didn't your parents enter into it?
I was exactly. So actually, what happened? My parents, actually, my mom was terminally sick, so most of our medical attention went to my mom at that time for the longest time. I think she was sick for 5 years with a kidney failure. So at that time, I think they were not able to really understand what I was going through. So I tend to these kind of things to cope. I depended, and maybe if I could have been smart about it myself, if I would have taken myself to a counselor or a therapist, but at the time I just think could not take that decision.
The health issues of your mom maybe impacted you in a wrong way. Also, no? They also contributed.
Yes, many people tend to smoking as a coping mechanism because they want to get over that stress or some anxiety or that sleep. So it's a very unhealthy way to cope. Uh, बहुत लोगों को पता नहीं होता है, but once you're aware of it, like please get some help because any addiction is a disease. It's not natural. It's a disease. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And what about
So
your
you're sick.
siblings?
You have to think you're sick and you have to get help.
Huh. What about your
Ma'am,
siblings?
I'm the only child, so
Acha.
I'm
Oh,
alone there.
okay.
I'm the only child.
Okay. And we'll go back to the time when you told your friends that you don't want to smoke and they should not offer you. Did they agree with you, or they said कि नहीं नहीं कुछ नहीं होता because they are after all smokers?
मतलब yes, they are all after all smokers. So they are like, we won't pass you the cigarette or whatever we are smoking. So, but they would continue smoking, and it's tough to have self control when you're smelling that thing. you like creating. So it's better to remove yourself from such groups for some time till you recover,
Or you
because
have to
after all,
have
it
like
is a
a
disease, and
yeah, or you have to have a strong mental resolve to resist.
yes, sometimes if your willpower is, yeah, if your willpower is not that strong, I would suggest don't meet these friends for some time. I'm sure they'll understand. Everyone wants what's best for you. So you can tell them, if we are hanging out, we cannot smoke. Like, can you help me? Just itna sa. करेंगे अगर अच्छे दोस्त.
So 2020 you started taking professional help from a counselor. So when did you come
Yes,
clean, like total
yes,
on it?
ma'am.
Do you smoke
So
now? No, not at all.
no. Now I'm like trying to focus on my fitness and my art. So I'm trying to stay away from any sort of parties and all this so that I can be more
How?
focused. I spend my time with my dog. I go on walks. I have friends. I meet them. Yeah, but
Okay.
I wouldn't call myself an addict anymore. Yeah.
Okay. So tell me about your counseling sessions. Like, how did they? How long were they? How did you take them? Like once a week, or what is the way? Suppose somebody wants to
So
quit
I mean,
smoking.
the
So how should he
lockdown
go
was
about it?
very tough. Yeah, so when the lockdown happened, it was such a stressful time because everything was so uncertain and nobody knew what was happening, and that's when it started more for me. Like I required, these substances more at that time, and at the same time, I was feeling guilty that I'm doing this to myself to cope like so badly, and at the same time, I wanted help, but I was not able to help myself. So this is when I seek help. I went to a counselor and I told her about how I have been under the influence of tobacco and other substances like since a young age, because of the all the anxiety and depression and everything. So then we spoke about it. We saw the patterns. Like I have certain patterns, like when I need it more. So how do I handle myself in that time? So we spoke about these things. Then she helped me implement it while I was taking counseling from her. So I took counseling for over a year with her,
Okay.
and she helped me come up with better coping mechanisms. She helped me understand how our brain is, made of certain chemical balances, and when certain chemicals are imbalanced, if you don't know about it, you start doing weird things. So once you're aware, कि ठीक है, I'm feeling low, I'm feeling depressed. Now what can I do to make me feel better? And a healthy way. ये नहीं कि आप जाके दारू अच्छा लगता है तो दारू पी रहा है, ऐसे नहीं है. So these days she helped me understand healthy coping mechanisms. She helped me understand how to regulate my mood without depending on tobacco or on all these things. So with that, then slowly it happened slowly, and yeah, now I'm in a very good place. So
Okay. And how
very
were the
grateful
counseling?
that I.
Yeah. How long were these sessions, and what was the duration? Like, is it once a week
I
or
mean, we used to, yeah,
as and when
we used to
required?
meet once a week in the beginning. We used to meet once a week in the beginning because we were establishing my patterns, the timeline, what makes me dependent on these things. Like, why am I not able to, regulate my mood without smoking a cigarette or without doing something that's harmful to me? So once we understood that, the frequency reduced. So it used to be once a week in the beginning, and then we required it lesser and lesser. And then it was just a check-in. Like she would ask me, okay, so from your side, what new things have you done? Like positive things have you done? So then once she believed that I was strong on my own and that I'm able to, handle myself without indulging in these things, then she's like, now you may stop the
Okay.
counseling. She's like, she was happy with my progress, and so
Okay. Okay. So
I'm very
it's over.
grateful to my counselor.
Uh,
I
uh,
listened to her. Actually, some of my friends also went for counseling. When the
okay.
counselor asked them to quit tobacco, alcohol, so that they can have a proper therapy. They quit counseling. They said ये सब हम नहीं छोड़ सकते, तो
Okay.
हमें counseling ही नहीं चाहिए ऐसे बोला.
हाँ, हाँ,
But I listened to her. I did what she
हम्म,
said. It was not
हम्म,
एक झटके में नहीं हुआ, but it
हम्म.
helped a lot.
Yeah, it's
Now I
tough,
can
but
parent
then
myself.
I think it's quite
It
a
is self-parenting.
brave decision. Yeah, it's quite a brave thing for you to go on your own, because I know of people who are habitual smokers. Like some of my colleagues, they are like chain smokers kind of thing, and they don't want to listen to anything.
Right?
मतलब उनका
Yeah,
I
because
know
it's
one.
painful, ma'am. It's
Hmm,
painful. Physically, it's also very painful. एक तो mentally stress भी रहता है and physically ऐसा
hmm,
pain होने लगता है. Everything starts hurting. So when you're quitting, it's one of the toughest times. But once you've crossed that threshold,
hmm,
then you feel like you've got your life back. Like nothing controls you now.
hmm.
नहीं तो अब
So
तक
how?
तो ऐसे लगता था कि
Hmm,
सुट्टा only controls my entire day.
hmm. So how many days did you take to reach your threshold?
मैम आई स्ट्रगल्ड लाइक आई सेड इट डिडंट हैपन इन अ झटका. एक बार 3 साल रुके, फिर से स्टार्ट हुआ, फिर राइट राइट,
That's
देन
हाँ.
फाइनली इन द लॉकडाउन. यस मैम. So it was a constant struggle, I would say, constant
I
struggle with trying to quit.
How many cigarettes were you smoking in a day when you were smoking?
Easily 3, 4, 5. ऐसे पता नहीं चलता है, ऐसे खत्म होते रहते हैं.
So when you begin to stop it, do you reduce the numbers, or you quit altogether and then work on it?
No, I mean first when people tell you कि हाँ हमने कम कर दिया है, कि हम बस इसी के बाद मारते हैं कि इसी के पहले. So
Hmm.
these people are giving excuse for themselves. Like
Okay.
they are just, they
Hmm.
are trying to convince themselves कि I am in a better place. But let's be honest, even that one cigarette is also harming you equally.
Hmm.
So I would say to quit anything cold turkey is the best way. Cold turkey is
Okay.
when you decide not nothing from tomorrow or from today, nothing, and you have to
Hmm.
stick to that, and you have to just take it one day at a time. कि बस
Hmm.
आज नहीं मारेंगे, कल का पता नहीं. When you tell
अच्छा.
your brain कि नहीं और कभी forever, तो वो brain नहीं, मतलब
हाँ.
adapt होता है. तो you just
हाँ.
tell your brain कि बस आज नहीं करना है, आज का देख ले, बस आज नहीं करना है. सो योर ब्रेन इज ओके, लाइक ठीक है कल, ठीक है कल का कल देखते हैं. तो दैट
हाँ.
वे एक एक दिन इट एड्स अप. एंड वंस
हाँ.
योर बॉडी इज fully clean, you won't feel like smoke. You won't like the smell also after you've totally gotten off of it. So
So when you look at your
it
life
was tough.
when you look back at your life in retrospect, how do you view it?
I would just say I wish I had not smoked that first cigarette. I would have been a completely different person. Because of that one cigarette, I started hanging out with a certain kind of people because it was
Hmm.
acceptable. And, and then you lose your ambition. And I think I could have been in a much better place if I had not smoked that first cigarette. Like, I'm very grateful for
Hmm.
whatever I have achieved and wherever I am, but life would have been lot more easier or smoother without these kind of addictions. I feel like I could have, if I could have handled myself like that one first cigarette, I regret. That's it.
Okay.
Every
And
other
how?
cigarette after that was my choice.
Hmm.
So first one, if I wouldn't have taken it, then
Hmm. And how's your
maybe it
health
would have
now?
been.
How's your health now?
Yeah, I'm very healthy now. I do cycling.
I
Yes,
was
ma'am,
coming to
it's
that.
very good. My lung capacity and everything, it's very good. In fact,
Hmm.
ma'am, I used to have a lot of cold, a lot of, I used to catch cold every day almost.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I think because of exercising and improving my immunity, I don't catch any cold. My
Okay.
sinuses are also not blocked. So
Okay.
I feel very happy all the time. Like
Hmm.
I feel happy for no reason. So I
That's
think
a
that's
good
a good
thing.
thing.
That's a good thing.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
yeah. So tell me, like one day in your life, how do you go about your day? What is your regimen?
Ma'am, like I try to maintain that chemical balance which I was talking about. So in my day, I will at least do some exercise. I will at least meet some friends, share love, meet some friends. I will eat something that I really like. Pani puri ho jaye, ki kuch bhi ho jaye.
Huh.
So these few things, I'll play with my dog. So these
Hmm.
things I make sure I do at least थोड़ा time के लिए every day. अगर हो सके तो I try to dance also थोड़ा music लगा के अपने आप just for a
Hmm.
few minutes. So
Hmm.
this way my mood stays regulated. And
Hmm.
apart from that, मैम जो भी creative work होता है, office का work होता है,
Hmm.
family का जो भी काम, like me and my dad are now there. My mom passed away in 2018. So yeah, me and my dad we cook together,
Hmm.
and yeah, we spend time like this. So this is how a day in my life looks like.
Okay. So have you joined some classes like you said that
So
dance or
not
choir?
having this yes, I was associated with this community called the 6 a.m. Club. So it's a community of youngsters in my city. So what they do is they motivate people to, be healthy in all-round sense, in the sense physical wellness, mental wellness. They also focus on spiritual wellness. We also have sessions where we log on in the laptop together at a certain time and we work on whatever you're working on. So it's called deep focus sessions. So
Okay.
online community ऐसे मैंने एक join किया था मैम. This is called 6 a.m. Club. Yeah, so they also help me a lot with being accountable to myself, about my self growth and my journey. So yeah, I've
You are
joined
in.
certain communities, taken help from my friends. I have been honest about it. I'm ashamed, ma'am, but I have been honest about it so that
Yeah.
छुप के ना कर लो कभी. कोई देखेगा भी तो मना करेगा कि अरे तू तो मना कर रही थी ना, तो फिर से
Uh,
क्यों start किया. So
so are you?
accountable. I'm
Yeah.
now accountable to everyone.
Are you friends with those people, the old friends whom with you hang out with your cigarettes and all?
Yes, I'm still friends with them. I still meet them. Yes, ma'am. I still meet them. I'm friends with them. They are still smoking, and I'm
Uh,
trying to do my best to stay away from it.
do you anytime
Like
like
other things connect us, not.
no, do you motivate them to quit? Because now that you have quit and you are more
Yes,
happier, do
ma'am.
you
I think.
counsel
I
them?
think when they. Yes, ma'am. When they see me, how I was one of them, and now when they see how I've turned my life around, तो उनको खुद को गिल्टी लगता है मेरे सामने स्मोक करने के लिए अभी.
अच्छा.
एंड दे आर ट्राइंग टू गिव एक्सक्यूजेस. हाँ, हमने स्टार्ट किया एक्सरसाइज, हम आजकल कम पीते हैं सिगरेट, तो वो अपने से ही बोलते हैं. मैंने पूछा नहीं है उनको.
अच्छा.
बट
अच्छा.
आई थिंक इट does have an effect, like what you're saying, it does have an effect.
Hmm.
People also, they feel
Hmm.
यार इसने कर लिया, हम क्यों नहीं कर पाए. एक
Right.
बार
That little guilt is there.
It's,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So I think anything else you want to say? You want to send any message across to our viewers?
This is my message that I think what your brain is seeking is just a shot of dopamine when you're addicted to anything. And dopamine can be created in very healthy ways also. So instead of surfing on your phone, social media, or smoking cigarettes, or watching porn, this is also a type of addiction. And these kind of things. Instead of getting it from there, why don't you join a club where people are working out, meet people? If you are not into sports, if you're into say art or poetry, why don't you join a club where people read poetry and bond and connect with people, but by doing healthy things instead of bonding and connecting with people with drugs and alcohol. So, there is a way to get the same effect, but in a very healthy way. So, this is my only like message. Like, please try
And
this healthy way, but it won't let
and
you down.
And say no to the
And it's
first,
free of cost. That's the best part.
and also say no to the first cigarette you get, right?
Yeah, I mean, many people say that, nahi, we are not addicted. We have a lot of self control. But sometimes when you're in a weak place or a vulnerable place, you don't know when that self control is gone and you're addicted. So don't let it get till there, I would say. सब
Okay,
चीज एक
thank
बार
you.
ट्राई कर लो, but
Hmm.
be careful. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you so much, Nikki. We are glad that you talked about your life, and I would say that you are a brave girl. Not many people have that much strength to talk about their own negative patterns, and we are happy. And I'm sure people, whosoever listens to it, will really get motivated to quit smoking. And thank you so much for being with us. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for
Thank
having
you.
me.